Join me on opening day at Alton Towers as I take you on a journey from the turnstiles down Tower Street, through Haunted Hollow, Gloomy Wood and into Forbidden Valley to take a look at Nemesis Reborn. The park had been sold out since the beginning of March and it was the busiest I've ever seen it, with queues for Nemesis Reborn reaching an eye-watering 4.5 hours and stretching all the way back to the runaway mine train in Katanga Canyon. As you enter Forbidden Valley, you're greeted with a brand new entrance sporting the iconic red tentacles, followed by this awesome new statement piece, a full-size military-style helicopter aptly named THNDR-V. This thing looks incredible and features sounds, lights and moving rotor blades along with a cargo of Nemesis eggs. For 2024, Nemesis Reborn has a newly themed entrance and a brand new queue line. Guests are now routed to the left, then up and around under the top of the lift hill, then around the pit near the stall turn and vertical loop. This offers incredible views of the ride and station before you descend down to the merge point and prepare to board. Inside the station there's all new lighting, more tentacles, but also from what I could see there's no more front row queue, which is a strange thing to remove from the ride. The coaster managed to operate throughout the day without any major issues until about 7 PM, but I'll talk a bit more about that in a bit. Although operations were slow, with trains taking 2 to 3 minutes to dispatch. I was streaming live for most of the day and many viewers were asking if there was only one train in operation, but there were two. The slow dispatch is likely due to it being the first day of the season coupled with an exceptionally busy wrap queue. So how does it ride? Well, luckily I was able to be on one of the first few trains of the day, so I was only in the queue for about 20 minutes, although I did get to the park at 5:30 AM. I boarded row 5 and there were cheers and whoops as the train was dispatched. A lot of people were asking me if it's better than the original. Well, it's definitely smoother and perhaps marginally quieter due to the sand-filled track, but the roar is still there. And the ride experience is pretty much the same as it always was, which is excellent. I did hear some people say that they could feel a rumble or vibration throughout the train, but it's not something I noticed, although I did only get one ride, so I'll pay close attention when I next visit to see if this is an ongoing or developing issue. The immersion, theme and general atmosphere throughout the whole Forbidden Valley area was absolutely amazing. From the live actors scanning guests and protesting to free the Nemesis creature, through to this amazing giant animated eye and surrounding claws, which are expertly synchronised with the train dispatch and bellows smoke as the train negotiates the zero-G roll over the station. The theming extends to the new Nemesis Reborn merch shop, which had queues all day. It took me an hour of queuing before I could get in. Whilst I've seen some criticising comments about the price of some of the merch on offer, Bunker 94 has a great selection of merchandise, celebrating both the new and original nods to the ride. You could even buy one of the original Nemesis bolts as a sort of trophy, if you were early enough and if you wanted to part with £100 of your money for one bolt. Understandably, that's not for everyone, but they had sold out in a few hours, so clearly the demand is there. So back to the technical fault which caused the ride to cease operation at about 7:15 PM. Unfortunately, guests had been waiting approximately 2 hours at this point and had to be turned away, but that's not without tech services trying their best to get the coaster back up and running again. There was a train stuck on the brake run, meaning the second train stopped at the top of the lift hill. Both trains were full. After about 25 minutes of the resort team trying to get the ride operational again, the decision was taken to evacuate everyone from the ride. Then people were ordered to leave the queue line. There was probably still over 2,000 people waiting to ride at this point. People were understandably disappointed and frustrated, having already been stood in line for a couple of hours. Eventually the fault was rectified and the lucky few that were past the final merge point that had continued to wait were able to get a ride, but it was only 3 or 4 trains before Nemesis Reborn was shut down for the night. Whilst it isn't the end of the day that anyone would wish for, including the team at Alton Towers, these things do occasionally happen, and we have to remember this is effectively a new attraction with a new control system and new magnetic brakes. The ride had been working continuously all day, dispatch after dispatch, and perhaps that with the deteriorating weather conditions just caused a fault that couldn't be quickly reset. I'm sure the team at the park will do whatever they can to try and prevent things like this from happening again. All in all, the day was a huge success. Nemesis Reborn really is something special, and it's great that the park has invested so heavily in this attraction so that it can continue to entertain the OG generation that it captured the hearts of 30 years previously. And it can go on to entertain the new kids of today and tomorrow.